That is, in your copious leisure time, you may do this, but now we have a show to do.
So here's a little, I guess this is sort of a little pun, huh?
A pun?
Yes.
We shall stand the push of your pun.
Is the Ask Dr. Hal show, or Conversations with Dr. Hal, Dr. Hal 2.0, some sort of Quandry Mat? Clever question. It wasn't accompanied with $1, though.
You have, it wasn't?
It was.
Oh, it was. Oh, you have the gavel, and you have the rule. But I'm going to say right now that my ruling is yes, we are a quandary match. That the quandary is taken, laundered, washed, and hung up to dry. Without trickery, in front of the entire audience, for them to judge the efficacy of the response to the question. So if you want your interrogative sins to be washed as white as snow by my answers, you've come to the right shop.
Tribute, or whatever we call that thing that greases the...
We call it money. When they say it makes the world go round.
Yes, okay.
It is a symbol of value. You know, these pieces of paper do not inherently possess value. They only possess value because we all agree to participate in the story that they do. And no one dare go against it. Even those who think that money is to burn, when they start burning it, it makes people disturbed.
When you got slack, you don't need money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Money is a succedaneum for slack, a false substitute promulgated by the conspiracy. But we're not here to hash out old subgenius tropes, but rather to answer new questions and create this knowledge for a new generation. For some strange...
All right, I'll just pretend.
That's better. Let's hear a manly, loud voice.
All right.
All right.
Hello, hello, hello.
There it is. Now, this is the voice of authority, ladies and gentlemen.
This is our radio voice. Okay, now this seems like an open-ended question, but I guess it also is a declarative statement if it didn't have a question mark at the end. But it says, what will happen?
Well,
and that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a question. What will happen is always uncertain because the universe itself is a turbulent, dynamic system. And like predicting the weather, one cannot predict it with any certainty into the far future. And yet there are things that we know are not only likely, but inevitable. Mainly, we have a certain amount of energy in this cosmos of ours, and it's going to be used up. And when this happens, there will be nothing else happening. We will essentially have reached the ultimate terminal, where everything's final and nothing is terminal. But one thing that I can also assure you that there will be more of in the future is the past, until finally there is only accumulated past and no more future. At that point, we have reached our end point.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hal. Excellent. Much better, much better. Okay, now, boy, my face is really red. I can tell that somebody's trying to embarrass me.
Give Philo a new way to explode on the scene.
Yeah, explode might be the right term here.
Well, a joyous explosion, naturally.
Okay, that's aside from penetration. What are some other good ways to break a hymen?
Well, of course, why would anyone want to do it in any but the traditional way? But perhaps the questioner, the interrogator, is simply interested in the classic excuses which have often been tendered up over the years. It is said that vigorous horseback riding by a young lady can accomplish this. And indeed, they have often pled this excuse when they have been found to be non-intacta.
This is all in the script. It's right here in front of me. So.
Yes, nothing is left to chance. And now, our next question.
Why how did Chicken get the nickname Chicken? It's not how, but it's why did Chicken get the nickname Chicken?
Well, I can tell you why, which is also how. Chicken John, who is usually the host of the Ask Dr. Hal show, does possess an unusual name. And it has cost him in the past. He was, when he appeared on Fox News to describe his mayoral plans, they made chicken jokes and played slide whistles and Jews harp boings in the background when he was trying to elucidate his dynamic plan for the city of San Francisco. But I do, since I know Chicken well, happen to know this secret, which I will now divulge. Many, many years ago, Chicken John was not the obnoxious guy with the fake mustache and bad attitude that you all know. Although I have to say, even in deference to our substitute Chicken Johns, that a mustache and bad attitude do not a Chicken John make. There are other elements of his composition which cannot successfully be duplicated. But a long time ago, he was a kid, and he was challenged by a kid considerably larger and more brutal, one who had gone through puberty and had rippling muscles and was aware of the power contained in them. This guy challenged our friend Mr. Rinaldi to a fight. Well, Chicken was of the belief, held by many, that he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. But he who is in battle slain may still live to fight again. So Chicken refused to be called out. He was given the name Chicken John because he wouldn't meet the gigantic microcephalic schoolyard bully. But you know what? He made that a brand name. He turned what might be a flaw into an asset. And that is what we should all do when life slips us a Mickey.
Right.
That really is the story.
That's why
That's all true, right?
That's good advice about the whole running away thing. You know?
Well, it is good advice. Once I was doing a show with Chicken, and some horrible drunk started heckling us, and you know, he said, "I just can't fight this guy. He's too big and strong." I mean, it was he was running true to form there. So what we ultimately did in that instance is David Apocalypse invited the heckler onto the stage, where he sat in front of everyone, and the entire audience was instructed to tell him, "I love ooh," which drove the guy right out of the building.
Excellent.
It works, you know, like sunshine and gentleness rather than the bluster of winter, threat and aggression. Works every time. That's quite true.
Yeah.
You know, folks, I think it might be time, and maybe Philo will concur with this, to show our special horrendous 3D movie.
Whoa!
Open that.
Yes, these 3D glasses are really real. Try not to fingerprint them.
The real Dr. Hal show.
The 3D process is problematical. It needs your assistance.
Precise,
as you look at the
scientific
screen,
devices.
you will be taken into a world of wonder and horror and so forth and so on.
Don't put them on yet.
I'm sure it works.
If this movie is too strong for you, just look away.
That's incredible.
A picture of the afterlife.
I can almost.
That yellow shit. So hot.
Special effects. Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, Philo, do you have anything to interpolate?
You feel that? Psychiatrist council.
This is the dream sequence, so when he puts on the mask.
Is that
This isn't the reality
is
sequence.
that a puppet? Whoa!
Look, you can actually see the hands leaving the screen now.
Oh my god.
Oh, I wish you could do that with your hands.
My hands can do that.
As Satan finds work for idle little hands.
I need that.
Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, of course.
I'm touching it.
No body, just
It's amazing how
Boy,
effective
they just
3D
pop out of the screen and grab you.
Just
don't
feel
they?
like you can touch it.
I can feel the heat of those flames.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In yellow vision.
It's almost like a. Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Children.
This is like Burning Man.
Don't freak Yeah.
St. Louis. Ah!
Oh, what?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
Terrifying
You don't
location.
really see that. It's not really there.
Yeah, this shows why you should not go there, because
No, you didn't see anything.
when you wake up in St. Louis, you never know if you're coming or going.
What?
What does a yellow box mean?
That's where he lives. Whoa! It is burning it.
Wow.
It's so realistic.
You can interrupt the show at any time and go to the bathroom if you need to.
Yes,
It's
that's
right
right.
over there.
Because one must satisfy the
Don't worry, if you need to wash your hands, just flush it once and that water that comes back is pretty clean.